to the world, she was Isabella, a vision of captivating beauty with eyes the color of twilight and a smile that promised secrets. But in the whispers of the broken-hearted, she was known as the Siren. The name wasn't just for her looks, which could effortlessly lure souls like sailors to a rocky doom, but for the chillingly deliberate trail of shipwrecked hearts she left in her wake. She moved through life with the grace of a dancer and the calculated precision of a grandmaster, her very presence an intoxicating melody that made you forget the danger lurking beneath the surface. For Isabella, love was a hollow word, a fragile concept for those who needed fairy tales. To her, it was neither an emotion nor a commitment. It was a game, a complex, thrilling sport of strategy and conquest. And in this game, she was the undefeated, undisputed champion. Each boy was merely a player on her board, each relationship a move to be calculated, and every breakup a checkmate she executed with a devastating blend of coldness and charm. She collected affections not to cherish them, but to display them as trophies, each one a testament to her power. The thrill was not in the love, but in the art of the deception itself, and she was its most brilliant and ruthless artist. Isabella's first target was not chosen at random, he was selected with the cold, clear logic of a strategist. Ethan was the archetype of the brilliant, introverted programmer, a boy who lived in a world of code and logic, where human emotions were the most unpredictable and fascinating variables. Isabella saw him not as a person, but as a tool. Her digital presence was lackluster, and she needed an architect to build her a kingdom online. She approached him in the campus library, not with a flirtatious smile, but with a plea for help. "I'm told you're the only person who can understand this impossible coding assignment," she said, her voice a soft, conspiratorial whisper that made him feel like the most important person in the room. Ethan, who was more accustomed to the glow of a screen than the gaze of a beautiful girl, was instantly captivated. He saw not a predator, but a damsel in distress, and he was the knight with a compiler. Their relationship began in the glow of his dual monitors. Isabella would sit beside him, her presence a distracting perfume in the sterile air, as he meticulously built her a stunning portfolio website for her art. She learned the right questions to ask, feigning a fascination with algorithms and user interfaces. "How do you make it so seamless, Ethan?" "It's like magic," she would marvel, and his chest would swell with a pride he'd never felt before. He wasn't just coding, he was creating for her. He spent nights writing a custom app to manage her chaotic schedule, her social media posts, and even her grocery lists. Each line of code was, in his mind, a line of a love poem, a digital sonnet dedicated to her. He opened up to her about his dreams of launching a startup, his social anxieties, his love for vintage science fiction. Isabella stored every confession away, not as cherished intimacy, but as data points to be used to reinforce his devotion. She crafted a perfect persona for him, the understanding, supportive muse. She brought him coffee during late-night coding sessions and listened with wide, admiring eyes. He was constructing a digital paradise for her, all the while believing they were building a future together. The end came the day he presented her with the finished, fully functional app. It was flawless, a masterpiece of efficiency and design. He looked at her, expecting to see joy, perhaps even tears of gratitude. Instead, he saw a flicker of something else, boredom. The project was complete. The tool had served its purpose. 2 days later, she met him at their usual spot by the old oak tree. Her eyes were already glistening with expertly conjured tears. "Ethan," she began, her voice trembling with a practiced fragility. "You are the most incredible person I've ever known. But this, it's becoming too intense. I need space to find myself." She spoke of confusing feelings and not wanting to hurt him, weaving a web of lies so convincing he blamed himself for moving too fast. He walked away, heart shattered, clutching his phone which buzzed with a notification. It was a text to her friend, predated and strategically left open on her screen. "I just need some fun. Maybe someone like Jake." The final, cruel twist of the knife, making him believe his serious nature was the flaw. As he retreated, a broken man, Isabella was already pulling out her phone, a genuine, thrilling smile finally gracing her lips as she typed a message to Jake, the athlete. The game was afoot. The cafeteria is loud and bustling. Jake, the star quarterback, holds court at a central table, surrounded by his athletic friends. His laughter is loud and confident. Across the room, Isabella watches him, her eyes calculating. She picks up her latte and walks deliberately towards his table. "Isabella." Feigning clumsiness. "Oh, I'm so sorry." She accidentally bumps into him, spilling a small amount of coffee on his pristine varsity jacket. Jake. Annoyed at first, then charmed. "Hey, watch it, whoa." He stops mid-sentence, completely disarmed by her stunning looks and apologetic smile. "Isabella. I'm such a klutz, that's a beautiful jacket. Please, let me pay for the cleaning." Jake. Smiling widely. "Don't worry about it, it was worth it. I'm Jake." Isabella. "Isabella, well, Jake, at least let me buy you a replacement coffee? To prove I'm not a total disaster?" Jake. Laughing. "How could I say no to that?" Isabella, wearing a stunning cocktail dress, stands with Jake. He has his arm possessively around her waist as he introduces her to his wealthy friends. She smiles, the perfect accessory. Int. Luxury car night. Jake drives his expensive convertible. Isabella leans back, the wind in her hair, looking every bit the movie star. She glances at him, not with love, but with satisfaction. Int. Fancy restaurant night. A plate of exquisite food is placed before them. Jake is talking loudly about his latest game. Isabella nods, her eyes wide with feigned admiration, while subtly checking her reflection in a spoon. Jake's car night. They are parked outside Isabella's apartment building. The mood is quiet. Jake. You know, my parents are having their big anniversary party at the country club next month. I told them you're my plus one. My mom is dying to meet you. Isabella's smile tightens almost imperceptibly. Isabella. That sounds wonderful, Jake. Jake. Leaning in confidently. Good, I mean, it's getting serious, right? We're a thing. Everyone knows it. He says it as a statement of fact. Isabella's eyes flicker with panic for a second before she regains her composure. Isabella. Of course we are. Scene 4. INT. Isabella's apartment, day. Isabella is on a video call with Jake. She has expertly applied makeup to make herself look pale and tearful. Isabella. Voice trembling. Jake, we need to talk. It's my family. My dad's company, he's being transferred. To London. Jake. Shocked. London, what? For how long? Isabella. Permanently, they're making me go with them. I can't ask you to wait for me. It wouldn't be fair. You deserve someone who can be here, cheering for you at every game. A single, perfect tear rolls down her cheek. Jake. There has to be another way. You can stay. You can move in with me. Isabella. Shaking her head, a portrait of tragedy. My family needs me. I'm so sorry, Jake. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. She ends the call, letting his devastated face vanish. The moment the screen goes black, her sorrowful expression disappears. It is replaced by a look of utter relief. She picks up her phone, opens a new chat with Leo, and begins typing with a smirk. Isabella. Typing aloud. Hey my world feels so gray and structured right now. I hear you know how to break all the rules. She hits send, leans back, and smiles. The game was back on. Leo was not found in a library or on a sports field. He was discovered in a dimly lit, smoky underground club, splattering paint onto a giant canvas to the sound of thrashing guitars. He was all sharp angles, brooding intensity, and tortured genius. To Isabella, fresh from the predictable world of Jake, he was the perfect antidote, a wild, emotional roller coaster. She didn't need him to build or buy her a world. She needed him to help her destroy the pristine one she had just left. She approached him after his performance, ignoring the other admirers. Most people see art, she said, her voice cutting through the noise. But you feel the noise itself, don't you? You don't paint what you see, you paint what you hear. Leo, accustomed to shallow praise, was stunned into silence. No one had ever looked past the paint and seen the raw sound he was trying to capture. In that moment, Isabella didn't just see the artist, she saw the art, and he was utterly captivated. Their relationship was a storm. It was passionate, unpredictable, and deeply chaotic. He introduced her to a world she had only ever observed from a safe distance. They spent nights in his cramped, paint-splattered studio, surrounded by half-finished canvases that screamed with color and emotion. He played her music that was harsh and beautiful, and he read her his poetry, which was raw and unpolished. Isabella, in turn, became his ultimate muse. He painted her not as a serene beauty, but as a fiery goddess, a melancholic ghost, a creature of fractured light. She would pose for hours, listening to him talk about the suffocation of society and the beauty of chaos. She fed his angst, agreeing that the world was a cage and that only true artists like them could see the bars. He painted a massive mural for her on her birthday, a breathtaking explosion of color on the wall of her apartment. It was his masterpiece, a declaration of everything he felt. For a week, he dedicated every waking moment to it, his love and soul spilling onto the plaster. Isabella watched the process with a detached fascination. The thrill was in the intense drama, in being the center of his chaotic universe. But as the final brushstroke dried, she felt a familiar sensation, boredom. The project was complete. The intense, emotional high had plateaued. The mess, the constant intensity, the sheer effort of being his muse began to feel less like freedom and more like a different kind of prison. The end was not a dramatic scene with fake tears or elaborate lies. It was a quiet, brutal disappearance. The day after he finished the mural, she simply stopped responding. Her texts went unanswered. Her calls went straight to voicemail. Leo, confused and then desperate, flooded her phone with messages, first worried, then angry, then pleading. He stood outside her apartment, staring at the magnificent mural he had created for her, a monument to a love that had simply vanished into thin air. He never received an explanation. Isabella had already erased him. She had taken the thrilling, chaotic energy he offered and consumed it entirely. Now, she craved the opposite, stability, comfort, and quiet. She was already scanning the horizon for her next target, a gentle soul named Noah, leaving Leo alone in the silence, staring at the vibrant, screaming colors of his own heartbreak. Isabella sits alone at a table, staring blankly at a book. She looks deliberately vulnerable. Noah, a kind-eyed boy from her literature class, approaches cautiously. He carries 2 steaming mugs. NOAH. Speaking softly. Hot chocolate, with extra marshmallows. You looked like you could use one. Isabella looks up, offering him a fragile, grateful smile. Isabella. Her voice a little shaky. Noah, that's incredibly sweet. Thank you. My thoughts are everywhere today. NOAH. Sitting opposite her. Sometimes the world gets too loud, even in a quiet library. You don't have to talk about it. He slides the mug towards her. Their fingers briefly touch. Isabella lets the contact linger. EXT Park Day. Isabella and Noah walk slowly. He points out different birds, and she listens, her head resting on his shoulder. The chaos of Leo feels a world away. Int. Noah's apartment, night. Isabella is wrapped in a blanket on the sofa, sniffling from a cold. Noah brings her a bowl of homemade soup. NOAH. My grandma's recipe, it has healing powers, I swear. Isabella. Softly. You take such good care of me. Int. Bookstore, day. They browse shelves. Noah pulls out a classic novel. NOAH. This one, it has a love story that isn't about grand gestures. It's about 2 souls quietly finding a home in each other. I think you'd like it. He buys it for her. The gardens are empty. The setting sun paints the sky in hues of orange and pink. Isabella and Noah sit on a bench surrounded by blooming flowers. Noah. Turning to her. Isabella, being with you, it feels like coming home. You don't need to be anything other than exactly who you are with me. He takes her hand, his touch warm and gentle. Isabella. Feigning deep emotion. With you, Noah, I feel safe. After everything, you make the noise in my head go quiet. It's the most precious gift anyone has ever given me. NOAH. I love the way your eyes light up when you talk about a book you enjoyed. I love the little sigh you make when you're finally comfortable. I love you, Isabella. He leans in and kisses her. It is not passionate or wild, but soft, tender, and full of promise. Isabella kisses him back, playing the part of the healed, cherished woman perfectly. Isabella stares at her reflection. Noah's copy of the classic novel sits on her dresser. She picks up her phone. Noah's last text reads, "Good night, my home. Sweet dreams." A flicker of something, guilt, crosses her face, but it is quickly replaced by irritation. His kindness feels suffocating. The safety now feels like a cage. She needs excitement again. She opens a new chat with Liam, the actor. Isabella. Typing, a bored look on her face. Noah, I need to talk. I'm so sorry, but this isn't working. You are the most amazing person I know, and that's why you deserve more than I can give. My heart, it's just not ready for something so real. I can't be the home you're looking for. I hope you can understand. She sends the message and immediately blocks his number. She doesn't wait for a reply. Picking up the novel he gave her, she tosses it carelessly into a drawer, slamming it shut on the quiet, gentle love she had once pretended to crave. The stage was set for her final act. The stage is bare except for a single spotlight. Liam, 20s, charismatic, intense, is in the middle of a dramatic monologue. Isabella, 20s, stunning, watches from the shadows, a calculated look of fascination on her face. Liam. Voice filled with passion. Had it not been for you, I would have been content with a life of quiet shadows. But you are the sun, and I am helpless but to orbit your glorious light. He finishes, chest heaving. Isabella steps into the light, applauding softly. Isabella. Bravo. Liam turns, slightly startled, then smiles. Isabella. You didn't just speak the words, you made the air around you crackle with them. That's a rare gift. Liam. Flattered. Not many people see the difference between reciting and feeling. I'm Liam. Isabella. Isabella, and I think I do. The city skyline twinkles behind them. They stand close, sharing a bottle of wine. Liam. Most people are so predictable. Their lives are written in simple prose. But you. I can tell your story is an epic poem. Isabella. Smiling, swirling her wine. And you're the only one who can read it, is that it? Liam. No, I want to be the one who writes the next chapter with you. He takes her hand. His touch is electric, confident. Liam. This doesn't feel like a first date. It feels like a continuation. Isabella. Maybe some stories don't have a beginning, they just are. He leans in slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. She doesn't. They kiss, a slow, passionate kiss against the backdrop of the city lights. The room is warm, lit by candles. Soft, instrumental music plays. They are slow dancing, wrapped in each other's arms. Liam. Whispering. I've played the lover on stage a dozen times. I've said I love you to other actresses under these hot lights. It was always just lines. Until now. With you, it's not a performance. This is the most real thing I've ever felt. Isabella looks up at him, her eyes glistening in the candlelight, perfectly mirroring his emotion. Isabella. When I'm with you, the rest of the world just fades. You make me feel like I'm the only person in it. It's terrifying and wonderful all at once. Liam. Don't be terrified, this is our story. And I promise you, Isabella, this is only the beginning. He kisses her again, deeper this time, full of promise and passion. She melts into the kiss, playing the part of the cherished leading lady perfectly. A week later, Isabella and Liam are laughing over coffee. Her phone buzzes loudly on the table. She glances at it. Her smile vanishes. Liam. Everything okay? Isabella looks from the phone to Liam, her expression shifting from panic to a mask of tragic resolve. Isabella. Liam, there's something I have to tell you. It's about my past. It's complicated. And being with you, feeling this happy, it doesn't feel right. I'm so sorry. Liam. Confused. What are you talking about? We can handle complicated together. Isabella. Standing up, a single tear escaping. Not this kind. You deserve a leading lady without a messy past. Goodbye, Liam. She turns and walks away quickly, leaving him stunned and heartbroken at the table. The perfect romance had reached its abrupt, scripted finale. The grand finale Isabella had orchestrated for Liam was still fresh when she decided to revisit her greatest hits. She sauntered into the same upscale cafe where she had first charmed Jake, a confident smile playing on her lips, ready to bask in the memory of her conquests. But the atmosphere was different. Heavy. Her eyes scanned the room and her blood ran cold. There, at separate tables, sat Ethan, Jake, Leo, and Noah. They weren't looking at each other, but their collective gaze was fixed solely on her, a unified front of cold, hard understanding. The cozy booth where she had planned to sit was occupied by Liam, his actor's charm replaced by a look of grim satisfaction. A single, synchronized buzz came from her phone. It was a group chat she never knew existed. The message was simple, sent by an unknown number that was clearly one of them. Hope the game was worth it. In that deafening silence, surrounded by the shattered pieces of 5 hearts she had carelessly broken, the siren had no song left. The master manipulator had finally been outmaneuvered, left utterly and completely alone.